Hi, man. Today we're going to talk about the greatest warrior, the greatest builder, and the greatest adventurer that ever lived. This man's amazing. In these troubled times, we could use more of this man. That's why we're talking about him today. You know, here at the Revolving Man, we love men, we love masculinity, we believe men are the answer, and so there's this man. If we should all be emulating in our lives. This man, like I say, he's the greatest warrior ever lived. He fought in World War II. He fought in Europe. He fought in the Pacific. He was a great builder. He was involved with the Panama Canal, Hoover Dam, the Tennessee Valley Authority, whether you think that was a good idea or not, he was involved in it. Mount Rushmore, this guy, he did everything. He's the greatest adventurer he ever lived. He was involved in the moonshot. You know, this guy was a part of going to the moon. The greatest technological feat of exploration that's ever occurred. You know, he's gone to the bottom of the ocean. All over the Arctic. This guy was everywhere. He fought in World War One. There weren't many men who fought in both World War One and World War Two, but he did it. Made Vietnam. Fought in 1776, and by now you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you, the American man. You are the greatest warrior, the greatest builder, and the greatest explorer who's ever been, and you're the one who can see us through these troubled times. And you know, we talk about these being troubled times, and the times themselves, if you think about it, aren't all that troubled compared to Pearl Harbor, even compared to 9/11. You know, compared to the twin threats of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan, the incredible military superiority of the British Empire when we were breaking up. There have been some dark days. You know, smallpox and Spanish flu. And all this stuff that we've overcome. If you compare that to what we're facing today, a bunch of low testosterone, noodle arm soy boys out west who can't get a job with their humanities degrees that they owe $100,000 worth of school debt on. Those guys are nothing compared to who we've overcome in the past. Obviously, COVID-19 is nothing. You've overcome all this stuff in the past. You're the greatest war fighter and builder who's ever lived. You're the greatest explorer who's ever lived. There's nothing going on right now that you can't overcome except cultural rot and decay, but that's a different video. But you, the greatest warfighter, you fought at Belleau Wood, you fought at Concord, you fought in some of the darkest days of Afghanistan, which militarily we were overwhelmingly military triumphant in Vietnam and Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't remember what the final body count was in Iraq. At one point, we'd lost 1,500 servicemen, and we'd killed 150,000 jihadis, and that didn't include captured. Killed 150,000 jihadis, the 1,500 of our men lost. That was an overwhelming military success. You're the greatest fighter in the world. You look at what you've built. You've built the greatest society that ever lived, the wealthiest, the most secure. You settled a continent. You know, when you got here, there was not a wheel on this continent. No one in North America had the wheel. I'm not sure if they even had it in South America. They might have, though, because those guys were a little more advanced. But there wasn't even a wheel when you got here. 150, 200 years later, there's gold mines, there's coal mines, there's iron mines, there's canals. It's not much longer after that, there's steam engines, which we didn't invent, but we perfected and we put them in their ultimate best use in transcontinental railways. Like I said, Mount Rushmore, the Tennessee Valley Authority, whether you think that's a good idea or not, you built it. Giant long canals, underground railroad, you know, metro systems, huge cities, the tallest buildings. You built all that stuff. You're the greatest builder there's ever been. And you're the greatest adventurer. You've been to the bottom of the sea. You've been to the moon. You're working on going to Mars. You're such an adventurer that we have private space exploration companies now. America has multiple private companies that have gone to space. Think about that. Think about that. China is just now starting to get into space. Russia's, you know, they're okay at getting into orbit, but that's it. You've been to the moon, and you have private companies, whole big developed countries can't get get into orbit, and you have private companies that are talking about going to Mars. You're an amazing man. You are an amazing man, and you are the template for what men should be. You are brave. You are selfless. You will shoulder any burden, and you have countless times. You've done it. When buildings are burning and people are running and screaming, you run towards those buildings. Oh, firefighters do, but they come from you. I really admire firefighters. Anyway, you are the epitome of manhood, and you are the one who can get us out of this situation we're in. It wouldn't even be a challenge for you, because you've overcome so much, so many other worse. I mean, Hitler. You basically steamrolled Hitler, and that incredible army he built, and all the technological advances, and he looted a continent, and you steamrolled him. He never even stood up to you, like the Battle of the Bulge, maybe, but even that was just this desperate sort of Hail Mary thing that didn't work. You steamrolled them. Imperial Japan, you steamrolled them. They sunk your fleet. They sunk your fleet, and within 6 months, the fleet was back, and you were steamrolling them thousands of miles across the ocean. You're an amazing man. World War I, Bellawood, all that stuff. You've done it all. You've stood up to everything. You've overcome every single obstacle, every enemy. You've overcome it. These noodle-armed, low-T soy boys out west are nothing to you. The dementia-ridden geriatric patient trying to get into the White House is not a threat to you. Even Marxists and socialists and liberal weirdos and God help us Democrats, who are worse than all of them because they're liars. They're just straight up deluded liars. The Marxists at least tell you who they are and what they're going to do. You have a grudging respect for them. Democrats are just liars. These people can't not stand up to you. You can overcome them all. You and your rifle. You've bought one lie. How long is it?
7 minutes.
Okay. So let me leave you with that. You've bought one lie. There's a 20-minute version of this video we're going to put on the Patreon page. If anyone's interested, we'll make it available after a while to everyone. But I went way too long. I'm trying to get this one in under 7, and I've already failed. You and your rifle can overcome any obstacle if you just get over one lie. You are not a nice guy. You're not supposed to be a nice guy. You're not supposed to be fair to everybody. You are supposed to implement truth and right living and right thinking, and you do not have to treat people fairly because evil is not fair, and you don't have to be fair in your opposition to evil. Men, you are amazing. Every time I read about you, my mind is blown. I am just in awe of the American man, of you, of what you've fought, what you've built, and what you've explored. The Arctic, the South Pacific, swaths of Africa. You've just gone everywhere. You've done everything. You've overcome everything, and you've built amazing things in your wake. You've just left amazing things in your wake. You are a hell of a man. We need more men like you, especially right now in these times. Men, we appreciate you. Thank you.